Okay, everybody, we'll start. Just to make sure you're in the right class, my name is Larry Foster. Okay, couple things. If you can't read my writing, ask me. I don't get offended. If I write off the board, you might tell me because I'm not aware. Also, right about here, there's a glare. Now, I know what causes it, I just don't know how to work around it. I have a camera right there, and the camera is focusing its light right here. So if I'm doing a problem and it goes into this glare and you can't read it, tell me. Okay? I have no problems with that. I'll try, I'm aware of it. Sometimes I forget about it, so let me know. Okay? This is Math 96X. Okay, let's discuss that for just a moment. Math 96X is a math class made up of two different classes, Math 15B and Math 96. Now I'm going to talk a little bit more detail about this, but there are two classes here in one. There are two classes. This equals a total of 6 credits, which is about twice the normal number of credits for any class, math class, whatever. Okay, twice. That means you're going to have to do just about twice as much work because there's 2 classes built into one. Okay, now the 96X was created several years ago now, because we recognized that students weren't qualified, weren't ready, had forgotten too much to jump into intermediate algebra. That's what Math 96 is. So we created this course called 96X, which includes a review course with intermediate algebra. And every single teacher that teaches this does it differently. There's no one way a teacher does it, okay? The way I'm doing it, and I'll show you on my syllabus and time schedule in a little bit, okay? The way I'm doing it is approximately in this class, week number 1 through week, number 6 or 7, I don't know, is going to be this Math 15B. It's going to be a review of beginning algebra. Now, I stress the word review. I can't reteach everything. That's impossible. I'm going to review things. I'm going to review a lot of stuff. And some of you are going to go, yeah, I've never taught that. That's just all new to me. Well, okay, but we're still going to jam through this. So weeks 1 through 6 is going to be a review. That's going to be the Math 15B part. Okay. After week 6, starting around week 7, okay, that's when we're going to start the Math 96 part, the intermediate algebra part. Okay. So basically what you're getting in this class is 2 classes in one. You're getting a quick review of beginning algebra. Okay, and then we're going to go into intermediate algebra, which is Math 96. Okay, and you're going to be amazed at how much of these beginning skills are critical to here. That's why we're teaching it this way. Because so many students tried just jumping into intermediate and they didn't have the background skills and then they failed. So we've hit upon this technique and of teaching both courses in one class, one big ugly class. Okay, so what I want to stress to you is we're going to be covering 2 classes at once, a beginning algebra, and then we'll move into an intermediate algebra. And we're going to get all that done before the end of the semester. Okay, assuming stupid vaccine and all that other crud doesn't take over. So that's a real quick overview. I'm going to go over this again in a slightly different way in a little bit. Is that okay with everybody? Anybody have any questions about what I just covered there or talked about briefly? Okay. Just if you have questions, just unmute yourself, or there's a better way. You guys know that I think you can hold down the space bar, and that will temporarily unmute you on your, if you have a laptop, that unmutes you, that you can talk, and then you can release the space bar and you're going back to being muted again. But whatever it does for you guys. Okay. So originally, I'm going to go back. You don't need any of this knowledge. I just have to tell you. Originally, when everybody registered for the, well, that's not true. When a majority of you registered for this class, somewhere back in June or July, this was going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, in person. That means on Mesa, at Mesa. And it was from 6:35 to around 9:15 p.m. Now that was originally, when people originally started enrolling for this class. It was going to be 100% in person at Mesa. Okay. And then something terrible happened. Then I ruptured my Achilles tendon. Okay. And I got to spend the entire summer, most of it at least, either in bed, wearing a cast, or with a real stiff walking boot. And because of that, I talked the dean and the math people into changing this class into Tuesday, Wednesday on Zoom, and then Thursday in person at Mesa. Okay. There was a real big push. Everybody wanted to get back in person. The administrators wanted to get back in person. Most instructors wanted to get back in person. And when we've surveyed most of the students for this particular class, when we've done surveys, they all said, yeah, they wanted it in person. Okay, mostly in person. Well, okay, so we tried to set it up that way. Then I ruptured my Achilles, okay? And so I talked to the dean and department chair, and we set it up so that 2 days a week were going to be Zoom, 1 day a week was going to be in person on campus. And then, okay, that's out. And then the school started panicking. They said, oh my God, we don't have enough students being vaccinated, or they're not getting their paperwork in on time, or it's just going to be, I can't say it, it wouldn't be professional of me, but the union president, when he was talking about this, called this a S show, rhymes with fit, okay? He thought the first couple of weeks of the school were going to be just a big mess. So they sent out a message, and they said, any instructor who wants to teach the first 2 weeks entirely on Zoom can do it. Okay? And that was strictly because they were afraid that everything was going to fall apart at Mesa, that it was going to be crazy on campus. They didn't know how things were going to go. So because of that, I said, yeah, sure. Okay, I'll do that. So right now, for the first 2 weeks, can we see it for week number 1 and week number 2? Okay, we're going to be doing Tuesday, Wednesday on Zoom. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, all on Zoom. Why can't I spell? I know, I'm in math. Okay, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all on Zoom from 6:35 to around 9:15-ish. Okay. I am very aware of the time. I'm very aware that you guys mostly are working. You're working adults. You have jobs in the daytime. I will try to get us out before the 9:15. Okay. I've been able to follow that most of the time. Okay. I'll give it, mostly because we all want to go to bed early or whatever. I do it at least. Okay. So the first 2 weeks, remember, this was a plea by the administrators at Mesa College saying, please, if you can, will you change your class for the first 2 weeks to entirely Zoom? And because my leg is not getting better as fast as I wanted it to, said, yep, sure, we'll do that. Okay. And then after this, can you guys still see down here from week number 3 to the end of the semester, week number 16, okay, we will be going Tuesday, Wednesday, Zoom. Can you guys still see? Okay. Thursday, in person at Mesa. And the time will still be 6:35 to 9:15. So what happened is I had a responsibility to let you guys know everything that was happening. And because everything kept changing, you kept getting all these stupid emails from me saying, well, remember the email last week? It's no good anymore. Now we're changing to a new one. And now we're changing to a new one. And it was a big, giant mess. But we're here. The first 2 weeks of the semester, this week and next week, we will meet Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday on Zoom, okay, from around 6:35 to 9:15. Okay. After that, 2 days a week on Zoom, 1 day a week on campus. And I'll give you more information when we get there. Okay. Somebody asked earlier about on campus, do you need a parking permit? No, absolutely not. You do not need to pay for a parking permit at all. The key is don't park in faculty staff, don't park in handicap, just regular student parking. You do not need any kind of permit for that 1 day that we're on campus. Okay, you're going to be okay. You do, however, need to have all that COVID paperwork, all that vaccine paperwork done, and you do need to come to class with a real live mask. Okay, a real live, not those gator things, not your t-shirt, not all that stuff, a real live mask. Okay, otherwise you will be asked to leave. Okay, I need to erase the board. I've talked about a whole bunch of junk. I brought us up to history, whatever up to speed. Questions? Any questions before I erase the board? Does that clarify all those silly emails that I was sending out? Does that make sense to everybody? Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. So can I erase the board? This is all being recorded, and I'll show you how to get a hold of all the recordings later. Any questions? None. Okay. There's a real question about whether or not you actually belong in this class. Okay, that sounds kind of shocking. It all depends on what your declared major is. We have a class called Math 92. Okay, which prepares you for what's called Math 118 or Math 119. Okay? Math 92 is a math class. It just covers the nuts and bolts, just the very, very basics of algebra. It gets you ready for either of these two. And depending upon your major, that's all the math you might need. Depending upon your major, Math 92 gets you ready for these two classes. So if you took Math 92 and you took one of these two classes, 118 or 119, okay, and don't worry about taking notes on this. I've got a thing, a webpage on my, I think it's on campus. I hope so. Okay, that will help explain this. If you're enrolled in Math 96, which you are, remember, 96X is 96 and some extra stuff. If you're enrolled in Math 96, then your next course is Math 104, which is trigonometry. Okay, and then Math 116, which is college algebra, and then Math 121, which is applied calculus. Okay, so if you're enrolled in Math 96, this is what we're preparing you for. Math 104, then Math 116, then Math 121. Or Math 104, Math 141, which is pre-calc, and then Math 151, which is calculus. And this is calculus for engineers, etc. You know, the real nerd type calculus. This is applying calculus to business, calculus to other things other than math and science. This is applying calculus to math and science. So I want you to look carefully at this before I go back into Canvas for a second. If you're enrolled here, depending upon your major, we're supposed to be preparing you for some form of calculus. So I can't take too many shortcuts. I don't know where you're going. I don't know if you're taking this path or this path. All I know is that if you're taking this course, you're implying to me that you eventually want to take a calculus course because your major demands it. Now, in a few minutes, I'm going to show you kind of a list of classes to help you kind of decide, maybe I'm in the wrong class. Maybe I'm not, maybe I am. If you end up talking with your counselor about what class are you going to take, what class should I take, this is what your counselor is going to tell you, and they are right. They're going to say, if you take Math 96, it gives you more opportunities in the future. Taking all of these classes, whichever path you take, gives you more opportunities for all the majors out here. If you take this path, it gets you out of here faster. Oh, definitely, much faster, much easier. 2 math classes, you're gone, goodbye. But it's a dead end. Okay, if you change your mind, you have to go back to here and start all over again. So your counselor will say, if you don't know what your major is, or if you're leaning one way or another, this is your best opportunity, okay? This class, Math 96, or in our case, 96X, is your best opportunity to prepare for an unknown future, okay? But if you know what your major is, and it doesn't include these calculus courses, then this might be the way you want to go. So hang with me for a second. Okay. I just saw something, the chat, 3 people are chatting. That's cool. That's great. If someone is putting a message up in the chat that says, I don't understand, please somebody let me know. I don't check the chat. I don't read the chat room at all. But if there's an important message up there, someone's confused, there's a good question up there, then please interrupt me. Let me know what the question is so I can help. All right, now, boom, stop, share. Let's go back to basic. Oh, it's good to see some people's faces. Hi, all the rest of you people that have turned your camera off, to you. Okay, I guess that wasn't right. You shouldn't do that. Okay. So here I am. This is my Canvas site. I am hoping that you guys all have access to this. It says you do. Let me go into student view. My computer says you guys have all kinds of access to this. So this is the best thing. I apologize for how ugly it is, but my belief is that you as students don't want to search for everything all over the world. So I tried to put everything that's important on this first page. Okay, couple of things that are super important over here. We'll do this in a minute. This is, you could click right here so you can get into Canvas and click here, go to Mom for homework. You want to log in tonight. I think somebody already told me they did this. You want to log into Zoom, you come into Canvas, hit Zoom, it'll go to this site. You get to listen to me all night long. Okay, I'll talk more about YouTube in a little bit. I upload all of my videos to YouTube and I make them available to you. So if you've been absent, you've been sick, if you just need a review, if you go, oh man, Foster talked too dang much last night and I zoned out, I need to go see what the heck he was talking about. Okay, that's what the YouTube is. And I'll show you, it's organized in a couple of different ways to help you. But right now, a couple things. I want to go look at syllabus. Okay. In the syllabus area, I put several things. First, this tells you how to enroll in MOM. If you haven't enrolled in MOM already, MOM stands for My Open Math. It's where all of your homework will be done, all of it. And Mom just sends me a message and says, you finished this much homework, and that's what I put in the grade book. Okay, so everything is there. You can enroll in Mom. Our syllabus, okay, wake up. Hello, it's a big document. There we go, my syllabus, okay, which is all my silly classroom rules and all kinds of crud. And it's got the grade breakdown and all kinds of stuff that you do want to read. Okay, you do want to be aware of. I will go over the high points over the next couple of days. Couple things here that I want to make sure I cover now. Please purchase or get a scientific calculator. I prefer the TI-36X Pro. Okay, you can find it much cheaper than $25. Somebody last semester found it for $18 at Staples. But look around, it's got some really neat features that I will eventually show you how to use. There's another list, but key, look at this, please. Okay, whoa, hello. You can never use a graphing calculator or your computer or a cell phone or your tablet or anything on an in-class test. I don't care what you do for your homework, okay? But on an in-class test, you can't use a graphing calculator or your cell phone or your laptop or anything like that. So hang on a minute, let's go back. Close my syllabus. Boom. Here's our time schedule. Very, very important. Again, a document, you can look at it on your own. Come on. Here we go. Okay. Again, you can look at this on your own. I'm just going to hit the highlights here. This outlines what we're going to cover every day. Okay. I tell you when there's going to be quizzes, so you can pretty much plan ahead for them. Okay. Remember, I told you that the first few weeks are going to be all review. These are the first few weeks on my time schedule. The first few weeks here. Notice on September 30th, I'm going to give you an exam that's going to cover all of this material. Okay, I'll talk more about that exam as we come up to it later, but all of this material is theoretically review. So we're going to blast through beginning algebra. Okay, and if you're lost or have questions, then yell at me, tell me to slow down, tell me, oops, I never learned that. Can you go over that again? Be happy to. But no matter what, by September 30th, we're going to have an exam here covering all of this material. So be aware of that, please. Okay, and as we get closer, I'll get you there. Here's my academic honesty policy. I'm not going to go over that, but this is what I want to talk about. Math courses by group. Okay. Big. There we go. This is a list of all, I won't say all, that's wrong. A majority of the majors here at Mesa College. And this is the more or less the math courses that you would want to take. So for example, if you're in education, you want to be a teacher, okay, you eventually want to be a teacher, then you need Math 92 and then 210A, 210B, 212. Okay. If you want to be a business major, going to business in some form, and you want to transfer to a 4-year college or university, notice this is what you need. 96, 116, 121. That's the applied calculus. Okay, but if you don't want to go to a 4-year college, if you just want to get a business degree in accounting or computer business, something like that, then all you need is Math 92. Now, this is, again, on my Canvas site. I'll show you where it is. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, this is the home page, okay, which has got all kinds of credit on here. Okay, you go to syllabus. Okay, you can see the syllabus, you can see our schedule, which I'm going to follow. I'm going to follow it very, very closely, guys. So you'll always know what we're doing. It's going to be that schedule, but right down here, math courses grouped by major. Okay, that's where you can come at your own free time and start looking about what your major is, okay, and what courses you need. Okay. Couple other things that I want to point out while we're on Canvas. I hate bouncing around. In the modules here, let's go to modules. Okay, I want to show you lots of stuff. First off, a few years ago, I had a classroom tutor. Her name was Angeline. I won't tell you her last name, but she took the most awesome notes that I've ever seen in my life. She figured out how to upload them, okay, onto my onto my site, and they are the best review notes I've ever seen in my life. Okay, they are absolutely wonderful. So the first thing you want, damn it, is not to damn it, but I just damned it. Okay. So in the modules, sorry, I blew myself out of there. Okay, Angeline's notes, okay, are awesome. Angeline's notes are absolutely awesome for just a real good review. I haven't changed my course too much since she was taking notes, so that's a great place to look for lots and lots of examples. Okay, just great, wonderful. I still owe her big time. The other thing here, resources, okay, all kinds of stuff. Oh, wait a minute, let's do this. Let's go to student view. This is what you're seeing. What you see and what I see are different things, okay? But, okay, some tech support for Zooming, for Canvas. Here's a list of proper calculators. Again, you can look at these. Let's look at them just for fun. I give you a whole list, whoops, wake up, of acceptable calculators, okay, including the 36X Pro, that's a great one, but all of these, for simplicity, I prefer Casio. I think Casio is really, really intuitive, but some of these Casios do not have the features that this 36X does. So whatever, but these are all acceptable calculators and I don't care which one. This is a list of unacceptable calculators here. Okay, unacceptable, not, you just can't use it. I don't care that you paid $120. I'm sorry, you can't use it. Okay, and again, you can't use your cell phone or your laptop or tablet on a quiz or a test in class. Again, for homework, you can use whatever you want. Okay, but when we come into class to take a quiz or a test, you cannot use an unacceptable calculator or your cell phone. Even if you forget it, go, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot, I missed your Foster. I'm sorry. Then, okay, do it all in your head. All right. Let's come back here. Hang on a minute. So let's go back to modules. So we have all kinds of stuff. I'm going to talk about more of these resources later. I don't want to bore you tonight. Okay. What else? Some help for online learning, student services. Okay. There's all kinds of cool things here for resources. The other thing, if we get back here, let's close resources down, shrink it down. And then in chapter 1 and 2, there's nothing there. Well, okay, there will be something there as of tonight. I will put a link to the recording I've made of tonight's lecture. It will be there. Let's see, do we have anything in here? Nope. Do I have anything anywhere? Well, I deleted everything. Nope. 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 Okay, apparently I've deleted everything. So eventually what I'm going to do is in here, I will put videos, I will put worksheets, I will put hints, I will put all kinds of stuff to help us. And it will be organized in these chapters. Chapter 1 and 2. Notice we're skipping chapter 3, then we go to chapter 4, and so on. So I'll point this out to you as we move on. All right. Pretty much that kind of gives you a quickie overview of my Canvas site. Okay. And what it offers to you. Does anybody have any questions before I leave my Canvas site? Any questions that you want me to clarify? Anything I said that doesn't make sense? Anything?
I do have a quick note.
Shoot.
It's just about the link for the Zoom meeting. So I tried the link that you sent on the email, and I think there was another link in my Open Math. Both of them didn't work, but the Zoom section in Canvas worked. That was the only one that worked.
You mean this one up here on the left?
Right. Yes.
That one worked. Okay, what the hell's wrong with this one then? Confer.zoom.us/J 709-470. Oh, 470, that's right, 3303. Did anybody try this one?
I tried the one from Canvas, the link from Canvas, and it didn't work for me. But I opened up my Zoom and I put in the ID and it did work.
Oh, well, that's okay. So wait a minute. Which one in Canvas? This see where I'm pointing right now? Did you try that one?
That's the page that I was on, and I clicked on the link and it didn't open.
Well, I'll be done. Okay, did you try this one at all?
Yeah, that's the one I tried.
And that did work. That got you in?
No, it didn't work.
Oh, neither of these worked.
No.
Okay.
So then
No.
Yeah.
So let's see. Make a note. Foster. Check. Zoom links in Canvas. Did anybody try to copy and paste this one into a browser? In other words, don't do it from inside a Canvas. Copy it, go to your browser and try it. Did anybody try that one?
No, it didn't work. On my Apple, it said Safari cannot find the server.
Well, crap. Did I spell it wrong? HTTPS//CC. Oh, shoot. Okay. I can't fix it now. I misspelled. Okay, wait a minute. You student. I see it. There's supposed to be 3 C's. There are 3 C's there, aren't there? Or are my eyes going bad? CCCONFER. There are 3 C's. .zoom.us/J /7094703303. All right, I've got a note to myself. I'll try and figure it out. Well, so question, those of you who figured that one out, how did you say you got in?
I opened up the Zoom app. Sorry, I opened up the Zoom app and I put in the Zoom ID that was in the link.
Okay, so you opened it up on your browser. You had a Zoom app on your computer or your browser and you just copy and paste it there. Okay.
No, I just put in the Zoom ID that you put in the link.
Okay. All right. Well, the Zoom ID that I put in the link was the 7094 thing.
Yeah, that one works.
Okay. Well, somebody else was talking. Who was that?
That was me. So the way it worked for me, I just clicked on Canvas, the section that says Zoom/Fosters.
Yeah.
For me too. I clicked on that and it worked.
Okay, so all of you people with Apple Macintoshes, joke them, they're trash. Never mind. I don't know what to tell you. I'll keep looking and seeing what's wrong and see if something happens. But as long as you got in, that's all that matters tonight. Okay, and I'll keep trying to figure out what the heck's wrong. Pooh, that bums me out. Okay, so any other questions about my Canvas site? No, all right. Then I'm going to switch now to my open math. Okay, let's go to student view. Okay. So when you first get to my open math, after you've logged in and whatever, this is your screen. Couple things you need to know. Welcome screen is a bunch of BS. Yeah. Okay, bunch of information, whatever. Okay, read it, ignore it. Now, some other things here. This Sunday, this is in MOM. Notice it's got a pad and a pencil. That means it's a graded assignment. Okay, it should be open right now. Should be you should be able to get in there. All it is practice using your keyboard to input weird things. Okay, I'm going to talk more about this tomorrow night, but it's just how do you input strange math formulas and junk in MOM, because you're going to have to do that throughout this course. So we're going to hit the basics this week. This is due this Sunday. Okay, that's the 30th, whatever. Okay, so double check that. If you have questions, come back, ask tomorrow. Course introduction. Okay, down here, it's the same syllabus as before. I just put it everywhere so you can't say I never saw it. Okay. So these are course introductions, key documents, the academic honesty policy, okay, and our course syllabus. There are resources, where to go for help, okay. At the college, there's tutoring. I'm trying to get a hold of a tutor that will have Zoom lessons on Saturdays and Sundays for you. Not lessons. Lessons is wrong. That will be willing to meet with you on Saturday, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, Mondays, okay, to give you help outside of class. We're working on whether or not we can get that. There's some legalities, but I'm working on that. As soon as I get that, I'll let you know. Okay, there's some other things. First off, a couple things, and I'm going to show you this later. If you want the entire textbook, if you really want to download it, you can. Okay, God knows why, but you can. Okay, and you can purchase it if you want to. Okay, we're going to have two classes. We're going to have elementary algebra, beginning algebra, and we're going to have intermediate. If you want to download the whole book to your laptop or to your tablet, great. You don't need to, because I'll show you why in a minute. Okay. Let's go back. So before we start, boom, we talked about the quiz. Then we go into elementary algebra. It's yellow or whatever that color is. That looks like puke yellow, whatever. Okay. Go into foundations, chapter 1. Everything here, again, with a pencil and pad is an assignment. This tells you when it's due. You just do it all on MOM. You input everything on MOM. And then on September the 6th, MOM will send me a little note saying, hey, this student got 18 out of 21 problems right, or whatever they get. You're welcome to go over these problems 1,000 times until you get 100% on it. There's no time limit. Well, excuse me, time limit is the wrong word. There's no, you have an unlimited number of tries to work on this. So in education talk, this is called a formative assignment. This is where you learning how to do something. You can practice it and practice it and practice it. And there's no penalty. If it takes you 15 times to do the problem right, fine, you get full credit. Doesn't matter. Okay. Coming down here, this is all chapter 1. This is all just review stuff. Okay, no big deal. This is a review of just, it kind of puts together all the concepts, everything that is in one place. It has some practice exercises, whatever. Notice it is not a pad and pencil. So it is not, okay, graded. You don't have to do anything. This is only here for your benefit or enjoyment. Now I want to show you something. Okay, let's come back up here. Let's say you have no clue how to add and subtract integers. Okay, so down here, clicked on that, ding, 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 ding. It opens up a book. It opens up a book, and it opens right to the page of that book where it discusses everything that you would need for that homework assignment. Okay, it opens up the book that you need. Let's go back. So that's why you never need the book at all. You just need a good internet connection. So you don't know how to do section 1.3, how to add or subtract integers. So you click on this, it will tell you. It will go to a book that's online, that's free. You don't have to pay a dime, okay? And it will show you this in the textbook, okay? And I've done that throughout all of these assignments, okay? That okay to everybody or not? Does that kind of make sense? All of these in yellow, all of these in yellow are the beginning algebra stuff. Okay, remember I said we're doing beginning algebra and intermediate algebra. So all of this stuff in yellow is the beginning algebra stuff, okay, leading to this exam, this midterm exam, okay? And there's stuff here, okay, you'll notice I haven't done it yet, I don't think, in Canvas, but I will tell you what's on the exam. I will give you a breakdown of the topics and all that stuff that you need as we get closer to the exam. Okay, so where was chapter 2? There it is, chapter 2. Okay, it's not here, but there will be a quiz. I'll show you how. Let's close all this stuff. Close. Okay, so that's basically once you get into MOM, you want to take this first quiz before this Sunday. Okay, again, you can take it as many times as you want. Okay, I'm going to talk more about it tomorrow, however. Okay. However, there's a calendar here inside of MOM. Okay, let's go to the calendar. And I've put on here when all the quizzes are. Okay, so bang, that opens, that's our starting day today. Okay. And notice here it says bang. Look down here and it says, okay, what am I banging? Well, what's the big deal? Here, this is MOM quiz. Okay, so I clicked on it and it says the MOM input quiz is due on this date, Monday, August 30th, and it's for practicing inputting symbols. There's a quiz next Thursday. Okay, and this tells you, oh, it's going to be a quiz on chapters 1 and 2. Okay, so I have up here in the calendar the main topics, but if you want to know what the heck they mean, on Friday, September the 3rd, it says it's the last day to add and pay. Okay, now you can see many weeks. I put a lot of stuff in here. Okay, a lot of stuff is on this MOM calendar. Okay. When we're going to have that exam number 1 covering all this stuff, okay? When are we going to have exam number 2? Oh, when's the withdrawal deadline? Right here, okay? So everything is on the MOM calendar, of all the calendars that I'm going to work with, I could have worked with one on Canvas. I could have worked with one on Mom. I could have worked on my own. I figure since you should be probably going to Mom every day for homework, I'll keep the calendar on Mom accurate. That's where everything is for you. Okay, so let's go back here. Boom, boom, boom. That's about it. Any questions on Mom? Anybody run into a problem that they want me to do? By the way, that's good for office hours. If you go, hey, I was in Mom and I was trying this problem, here it is. I mean, read it to me and I'll help you through it. I'll do it for you. So then you can go back and do it in Mom. Well, that's fine. Okay, I'll help you in those office hours. That's cool. Any questions about Mom? No.
Is this where we're gonna do the exams, or are we gonna go on campus?
Good question. Excellent question. The exams, let's go back to the grade book. Oh no, the calendar. By the way, the grade book in Mom, I can't blot it out. The grade book in Mom sucks. Okay, it'll tell you you're all failing, even if you've gotten an A on everything. So just don't worry about the grade book in Mom. Okay, I'll show you how to get your grades later. It's okay. Let's go back to the calendar and listen to the question. Okay, all exams will be on campus. All exams will be on campus. Okay, if I put anything that's on a Thursday will be on campus. Any other exam will be via Zoom. So like here we have a quiz in a couple, well, here we have a quiz that's coming up Thursday in 2 weeks on chapter 1 and 2. Okay, well, we're still Zooming that day. So I'll quit lecturing a little bit early that night. Okay, and then I'll open up the quiz and the quiz will be in Mom. Almost all quizzes are from Mom. And what I've done is I've said, hey, they did this homework assignment, this homework assignment, this homework assignment. So put those in a quiz. Okay, change the numbers, scramble them around a lot, but it's the same problems you've been doing in your homework. Now it's just on a quiz. Now remember, things are screwed up here. The first 2 weeks we're Zooming no matter what. But in general, anything that's on a Thursday, we will do in person. Anything that's on a Thursday, we will do on campus at Mesa in person. Any quiz on another day, let's see. I can move this. Show, let's go to 14 weeks. Okay. Okay, so here's more exams. I didn't put a lot of quizzes on here. I haven't put quizzes yet. Okay, so I apologize. So anything on a Thursday, with the exception of first 2 weeks, is going to be in class, in person, okay, whatever. Anything not on a Thursday will be in Zoom using Mom. So that's a long-winded explanation. Did I answer your question? That was Natalie, right? Or Natalia?
Natalie.
Natalie, I'm
Yes.
sorry. I just
So
glanced at
if
your
it's-
name and got it. Okay, go ahead.
So everything that lands on a Thursday will be in person, and the rest of the
Except
quiz,
for this one Thursday, because
The
we're still
second.
Zooming, yeah. But everything else will be in person, okay? Yeah,
and the other
everything-
days will be on Zoom doing it together, like,
Well, no, you'll be doing it on Mom. What we'll do is we'll probably, let's take this day for example. Okay, for example, in chapter 7 quiz, it says it's going to be September 27th. Okay, so well, for example, what I'm going to do here is probably I will have lecture, discussion, all kinds of stuff up until, let's say, 8 o'clock. And then I'll say, okay, we're going to stop now. And I'm going to open up this quiz and it'll be on Mom. So you're going to have to leave my Zoom, go to Mom, take this quiz. Okay. And again, the quiz will be graded all on Mom. Okay. Does that answer your question?
Got it. Yes. And we can
Okay,
only
good.
take the quizzes on those days, or can we get ahead?
No, you got to take them on those days.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you. That was a really good question. Thank you. Anybody else? I just realized something. I have a fan blowing. Is the noise bothering you guys? Nobody noticed it, huh?
No.
No, it's
Okay.
fine. It's not
All
bad.
right. Yeah, I just have the air conditioning really is terrible up in this room in my house. So I had a fan going. I didn't even think about the noise and how obnoxious it could be. So that's it again. Another thing, guys, feel free, okay, to let me know when I start talking weird, like, I start talking like a robot, too much noise, the lights go bad. I see some names from some students from last couple semesters that are trying me again. And you guys know how screwy it can be in this class. And I try and keep everything kind of light and let you guys ask questions and interrupt me, and things get kind of wacko sometimes. So and I don't take too much offense at anything. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you guys. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Yes. See that? I voted in the recall. You guys remember to vote. Everybody that's registered to vote got a ballot in the mail. Okay, the recall ballot. Please vote. I won't tell you how, other than I like Gavin Newsom, but vote. It's your right. Okay, as an American citizen, naturalized or born here, doesn't matter. It's your right. Vote. If you don't vote, you lose all kinds of crap. All right.
Quick question before we move
Yes.
on. For the
Yes.
quiz that's due on Monday, are we allowed to start it before, or do we have to start it
It
on
should
Monday?
be open right now.
Okay.
Go ahead and try it. See if it is.
No, it is open.
Yeah, it's open.
But you said that we can only do it on the day that they're due, so I was just a little
No, okay,
confused.
this is the one. Okay. Most of the quizzes will be due only on the night that they're scheduled. A few of the quizzes, like this quiz, I will give you a couple days on. Okay. And to be really honest, okay, this chapter 7 quiz, actually this chapter 5, 6 quiz here, okay, I'm going to give it to you that night, but it's actually going to be due sometime around here. So I'm going to give you a couple days to work on this.
Okay.
And this chapter 7 quiz, I'm going to give it to you earlier than here. I'm going to give it to you back here, but you can work on it and it's due on this night. So, my dog, what? Be quiet, go away. Go. No, I don't like you. You're ugly. Get out of here. Go. No, I shoot. No, I don't care. Don't talk to me. So, in general, a quiz that is scheduled for a certain night can only be taken on those nights. However, there are a few quizzes that are really long, and it's unfair to make you take it all on one night. So I will give you a couple days to do it, and I will let you know ahead of time. I understand that's kind of unclear and kind of wishy-washy, but it's kind of also the best I can do. Does that clarify it?
Yes,
Or
thank
not?
you. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. That was my nephew has some pretty serious cancer, and so he's doing chemo and all kinds of stuff, and he needed someone to take care of his dogs. So he said, sure, we will. Well, his dogs are two of the biggest golden retrievers I've seen in my life. They're huge, and they talk to you, and they're needy dogs. They need you to pet them, and you tell them, oh, you're a good boy, you're a good girl. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Oh my God. But we're taking care of them for my nephew, so that's all that matters. But God, what a pain in the rear. Okay. Anybody have any other questions on Mom? Or anything? No? Okay, I'm going to show you one more thing on Mom. And we have there's some different people have obviously different backgrounds in math and in technology. Okay, let's go back to Mom. Let's go back to this quiz. And let's go into the instructor view. Now this quiz here, I want to show you something. We'll look at the questions. These are the questions. This is what I see when I write a quiz for Mom. I pulled questions from your homework, okay? And I see the questions that I pulled. They're just a description for me. If I want to look at them, I can come over here and preview. Now, you don't need to know any of this except for this one question, okay? This one down here. So I'm going to show you what number 11 looks like. And again, it should be open. You guys should be able to use this all over the place. So I'm going to look at this problem. Come on. Okay. Oh, it's not showing it. Nuts. It was supposed to be that way. Okay, hang on. We'll do it another way. It's not. I hate it when things don't work right. So let's go back. Let's go back to the quiz. And let's look at the teacher preview. Okay. So these are all questions. I'm looking at it in a different way. This is what I want you to do. Now, this one's going to cause you some thought. Okay. It asks for what's the area of the shaded region. And we can talk about that a little bit tomorrow night or Wednesday night if you wish, how you would find that. But there's a slot here for area, and then there's a thing here for add work. And when you hit the add work button, you can upload a PDF copy. Now, this is file or picture of your work. So you do your work on a piece of paper. Okay, you take a picture of it, okay, or a PDF picture of it, okay. You select it off of your computer or off of your phone or whatever you're doing, your tablet, and you browse to find that picture. And then you upload that picture. Cancel. Okay, now I'm only having you do it on one problem. But the reason, remember, this is a practice thing, is because throughout the semester, I'm going to have you do that periodically on other problems. Remember, this one, you have the opportunity, this quiz, you have the opportunity to do every problem as many times as you want. You won't have that option on other quizzes or tests, but you will be asked to upload your work for selected problems. Not all problems, for selected problems. So that's what this little add work button has you do. You press the add work, and then you find a copy, a picture of your work. You work on a piece of paper, you take a picture of it, okay? You upload it right here, and then I get to see your work for this one problem. Okay, but I wanted to point that out to you. Some of you guys can do that automatically. You go, oh, that's a piece of cake. Others, you need to try it, play around with it. I'll talk more about it tomorrow night. Okay, a little bit more. But I'm getting tired of talking about mom right now. All right, exit. Boom, we're back here. Okay. I want to stop talking about mom. I want to stop talking about Canvas. I want to stop talking about all the other BS stuff. And I want to actually start talking about math. But does anybody, before I just talk about math, does anybody have any questions on anything I've said? You need clarification on anything? Nope, everybody's okay? Everybody's clear as mud, right? Okay. Okay, fine. Let's go to advanced. And let's look at there's my camera again. Yay. Okay. For as long as I can stand up, or as long as you guys can stomach me, I want to just hit some basic math ideas. And some of these concepts I'm covering tonight and tomorrow night because they're on that mom quiz. So I want to give you guys the opportunity. I want to review how to do certain things, okay? Because they're going to be on that quiz that's due on whether it's Sunday or Monday, whatever day the 30th is, I don't know. I'm calendar challenged. So I tell you what, let's take about a 3-minute break. Stop everything. I'll come back in 3 minutes. I got to find out what the dog wants anyway. So let's take about a 3-minute break, stand up and stretch. We'll be back in 3 minutes, okay? These guys do stand up and do a little bit of stretching. Okay, oh shoot. That was kind of dumb. Go back. I should have paused the video. Instead, this video has a 3-minute blank everything. Dummy. Okay. Before we get started talking about math stuff for a little bit, anybody have any questions they want to ask? Is there anything in the chat that I should be responding to? Okay, where to go? Then. First thing I want to talk about is division by 0. Okay. That's like 5/0. Or that's like 5 divided by 0. Both of these are the same thing. It's division by 0. 5, remember the fraction bar means divided by 0. By division by 0. 5 divided by 0. Technically, the answer to these is undefined. It is not, well, okay. I believe mom lets you get away with UND. Okay, they should tell you that in the instructions. Technically, it's undefined. Okay, couple ideas here. If you think about when you were first taught fractions, when you got 2 out of 3, you were probably taught, okay, there's a pizza, it's cut into 3 equal segments, and you got to eat 2 of them. That's what 2 out of 3 means. The denominator, 3, tells you how many parts you have, and the numerator, 2, tells you how many parts you got to eat or you got to use. Sometimes instead of a pie, sometimes they had like a 3 out of 5, so they used a Snicker bar. Okay, a candy bar cut into 5 sections. You got 1, 2, 3 of them. Okay, now the question is, does this make sense? 0 out of 3. Well, that says I had my piece of pie cut into 3 sections and I got nothing. Yeah, I don't like it. It's not nice, but it makes sense. And so 0 on top, the simplified answer is always 0. We're real big on simplifying fractions, simplest form. 0 on top, okay, means you got nothing out of your pie, so we say that that's 0. However, think about this. Whoops. What if you put 0 on bottom? Well, that says we don't have a pie. No pie. That's what that says. No pie. Or pizza or whatever you want to use. We have no pie. But it says you got to eat 3 pieces of it. Remember, the numerator is what you got to eat. I got to eat 2 pieces of it. I got to eat 3 pieces of it over here. Okay? But this says I have no pie, but I ate 3 pieces of it. Okay? Sounds like an LSD trip to me. This is impossible. This doesn't make sense. So in this case, the correct answer is to write the word out undefined. Okay, that's the correct answer. Mom uses some shortcuts to read the directions of the problem. Okay, UND or something like that. But the answer is not 0. Okay, undefined is totally different than 0. 0 is a number that you can find on the number line. Okay, remember a number line? Where's my, okay, my number line, here's 0, 1, 2, here's -1, -2. I can find 0 on the number line. There it is. I can find it on my number line. But you can't find undefined on the number line. There's no undefined there. They're totally different concepts. So anyway, that's the first idea. Division by 0 is undefined. It's impossible. undefined is what we say. So you're gonna run across some homework problems throughout actually the semester, that every once in a while it's gonna pop up as its ugly head and ask you, you know, what is this? And you're gonna have to remember what's undefined. And that brings up another thing. All fractions must be reduced. All fractions all the time must be reduced. So for example, suppose we had 12 over 20. Okay, well, you can reduce it to 6 over 10 because you can divide by 2. I don't have colored pins here. I'm going to pick some up tomorrow. You can reduce it because you divide the top and bottom by 2, but you're not reduced enough. You can still divide top and bottom by 2 and get this down to 3 out of 5. 6 divided by 2 is 3, 10 divided by 2 is 5. This is the only correct answer. It is a completely reduced fraction. Okay, so all fractions have to be completely reduced down. If it takes you 3 steps, 4 steps, 5 steps to reduce it, then you do. Okay, you have to. Now, that leads us to a little problem. Okay, there is something called a mixed number, mixed fraction or number, and there's something called an improper fraction. Okay, a mixed number or a mixed fraction is something like 3 2/5. 3 whole numbers and a fraction left over. Now, the long way of doing this is to say, well, this is 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2/5, because that's still 3. But we know that 1 is the same as 5/5 plus 5/5 plus 5/5 plus 2/5, because we know that any number divided by itself is 1, so we can convert 1 into any fraction I want. And then when we add these up, we get 5 and 5 and 5 and 2 is 17/5. So this is called the mixed fraction, and its equivalent form is 17 over 5. Now, that was the correct way of teaching you how to change from mixed to improper. But that's the real slow way. Nobody does it that way because it's too darn slow. So instead, the shortcut that students pick up is they say 5 times 3 plus 2. If you look at this, 5 times 3 plus 2. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 2 is 17. And out of 5, you keep the 5. Now, I don't care how you go from mixed to improper or improper back to mixed. Doesn't matter to me. But read the directions on MOM. Read the directions on the quiz. If it says mixed fraction, I'm expecting this, a whole number and a fraction. If it says improper, I'm expecting something like this, something that's top heavy, bigger on top than it is on bottom. Okay, so however you switch back and forth, but let me do it this way. What if you had 18 12ths? Okay. Couple things are wrong with that. Okay. 18 12ths still has to always be reduced. It still has to be reduced. So we can divide top and bottom by 6 and get 3/2. Okay, so 18/12 is an improper fraction, but it always must be reduced down to its smallest numbers, its lowest terms. So always give that. Even if you're doing some math problem using your calculator and it gives you 18/12, you have to turn it into the reduced format. So be careful about that. Okay. Always reduce a fraction, the difference between mixed and improper. Oh, do you guys remember how to go from, when we went from mixed to improper, we did 5 times 3 plus 2. We multiplied and then added. How do we go from improper back to mixed? How do you go from 37/4, which is improper, back into mixed? Well, technically, you do long division. You do 4 goes into 37. Goes in 9 times. 9 times 4 is 36. Subtract and get 1 left over. Oh, I'm in the glare, but that's okay. So we say it went 9 whole times, and there's 1 left over when we divide it by 4. So 37/4, okay, is the improper fraction. We've switched it to the mixed fraction or the mixed number 9 1/4 because we used long division. Tomorrow or Wednesday, I'll talk about how you can use your calculator. If you have, depending on the scientific calculator you have, you probably have a fraction button. Either it looks like this. Okay, that's the whole number, that's the numerator denominator, or some calculators have a fraction button that looks like this, ABC. Okay, that's how you input a fraction on some calculators. If you can do that, it will almost always reduce your fraction for you. You can use these to add or subtract, multiply or divide also. But we'll talk about those a little bit tomorrow night. Okay, moving on. All fractions have to be reduced. Okay. I want to talk about rounding for a second. Now, rounding is weird. There are 2 types of rounding. When we're rounding whole numbers and when we're rounding decimal numbers. And they use the same technique, but they follow slightly different rules at the end. So let's take a number 5946, okay, whatever, which is a whole number. And let's say I want to round it to the nearest tens place. I want to round it to the nearest tens place. Let's see if we have 10. I don't know if it will or not. So the technique that we use is you find the digit that's in the tens place value. So you have to go back and remember your place value. It's in the text in the book, but this is called the ones. The 6 is in the ones place, the 4 is in the tens, the 9 is in the hundreds, and the 5 is in the thousands. Okay, so you find the number that's in the tens place. Can everybody see the orange? Does it show up? Kind of, sort of? Not really. Okay. You find the number that's in the tens place, and you look immediately to the right. And you ask the question, is this number 5 or larger? If it is, if it's 5 or larger, then the 4 rounds up. The only place the 4 can go is to a 5. The 6 becomes a 0, and everybody else is the same. Okay? That's the algorithm. An algorithm is a rule that we teach you that doesn't explain diddly squat. It just gets you the answer. But that's the algorithm that we teach. you find the digit in the place value, tens in this case, and you look immediately to the right and ask, is that 5 or larger? Now, to be really honest, in different countries, okay, they don't always round, they don't follow this rule. And in different sciences, they don't follow this rule. Okay, so in general, this is the rule we got to follow, but in your science class, or if you move to another country, they may not quite follow it exactly the same. So there could be a little problem there. Okay, but this rounds to 5950. What if we took the same number and I said, I want you to round it to the nearest hundreds? Hundreds. Give me a second to think about that. I want to round it to the nearest hundreds place. So the 9 is in the hundreds place. We look at the 4. Is the 4 big enough to kick the 9 up? Remember, big enough means 5 or more. The answer is no. So the 9 stays a 9. Everybody after it turns back into zeros, and this turns into a 5. Okay. You don't need to copy this next thing down. I want to give you just a little bit of math theory as to why this works. When we say round to the tens, again, look, guys, I need to explain it to you, but I'll never test you on it. And the only thing you're going to be accountable for is the algorithm, the trick. But when we say round to the tens, we're talking about counting by tens. So we have 5,930, 5,940, 5,900, 50, if you can count right, 5,960. When we say round to the tens, we're technically saying count by tens, okay, and then figure out where does this fit. Well, this fits right in there, and which of those is it closest to? Is 46 closer to 50 or closer to 40? Well, it's closer to 50, and that's how we get the answer. That's technically the correct way of rounding. But again, too darn slow, so we have this little shortcut. Okay, looking at the hundreds, for example, if we round to the nearest 100, we have 5,700, 5,800, 5,900. Next one would be 6,000, whatever, because you're going up by hundreds, because that's what it said, hundreds. Okay, so you take your number, 5946, and you say, where does it fit? Well, it fits right in there. 5946 is between 900 and 6,000. Okay, but what is it closest to? Is 46 closer to 900, or is it closer to 6,000? It's closer to 900, and that's how we get the answer. Again, the teacher part of me says I want to show you where the rule comes from, but after I show you this, I don't care how you get it, just round the problem. Okay, that was rounding of whole numbers. Any questions? I want to erase my examples. Any questions about rounding whole numbers? Okay. I don't hear anybody yelling. Okay. Then there's decimals. And this is kind of weird. And if you don't like it, go yell at a science person, because they're the ones that this became important to. And later it became important to mathematicians, but decimals were important. when you're rounding in decimals, you're implying accuracy. How accurate is your measurement? So for example, suppose you had 3.17, okay, or you had 3.1, okay? Which measurement? Let's say somebody was measuring something on a line, or measuring how thick a piece of steel was, metal was, whatever. Which measurement is more accurate? Well, this one is. Because you're saying I went out to the 100th of an inch. I was accurate to the 100th of an inch. Because remember your place value. The first decimal is tenths, then that's hundredths. So this is 17 hundredths. I was accurate to hundredths of an inch. Hundredths is tiny. Okay, but this is only accurate to tenths of an inch. Okay, hang on. Can you hear me now? Yeah, okay. Whoever that was, remind me when I start next time. I'll be happy to do that. And all of my YouTube videos, when I finally upload this to YouTube, they're all closed captioned. No matter even if I forgot to turn it on or not, they're all closed captioned. Okay, so back here, hundredths is much more accurate than tenths. Okay, and rounding in decimals is more an exercise in how accurate you are. So let me erase these and come back to a problem. Let's go 7.267. And I want to round this to the nearest hundredth. Now remember, decimals ends in a THS, hundredths place. You spit on somebody. It's a good thing we're not in class because we could do that, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So I want to round to the hundredths place. Okay. So you find the hundredths place. Remember, decimals go tenths, the twos in the tenths place, then the hundredths, then the thousandths. So the 6 is in the hundredths place. We look back here at the 7. Is 7 big enough to round the 6 up? Yeah. 6 goes up to 7. Now, everybody in front stays the same. The question was, when this was a whole number, okay, we put a 0 there. When we were doing whole number rounding, that 7 would have turned into a 0. Okay? The difference is in decimal rounding, that 7, the 7 here drops off. Here's the reason why. That's the right answer for this question. 7.267 rounded to the nearest hundredths is 7.27 without the extra 0. If you put the extra 0 in here, now it becomes a science question. Which is more accurate? Well, this is more accurate because this implies you were measuring, you were accurate out to the thousandth of a decimal place. But the problem says, nope, your accuracy is only hundredths. So whatever this is, hundredths, you have to make sure your answer is in hundredths and you don't put that extra 0 on. Now you did when it was whole numbers. You don't when it's decimals. Okay, again, I'm reviewing real quick. You try your homework and then come back and yell at me tomorrow and Wednesday, and we can go over some of this. But I'm just doing a real quick review on some of these ideas. What time is it? Okay. Is that okay for rounding decimal numbers? You guys want a second example? Or are you okay with that? Okay.
Can we try one more?
One more? Sure. I'll leave this one for you guys to do. I'll be quiet, actually. It's hard for me to do. Negative 9.967. Okay, I want you to round this to the thousands. Thousands. Remember, decimal numbers end in THS. So I'll just let you guys work on it for a minute. Okay, just for yucks, anybody want to shout out an answer?
Negative 9.997.
Hey, anybody got a different answer? I believe that's correct. Let's see. Which digit is in the thousands place? The 6. Okay. So we look at the 7. Is the 7 big enough to kick the 6 up? Yes. The 6 rounds up. The 7 drops out, and everybody else goes along for the ride. Negative. That would be the correct answer. Now, what if I said the same problem rounded to the hundredths? Okay, let you guys work on that. It's kind of a trick question. All right, trick question. Anybody want to take a shot?
Negative 10.
Negative 10.
Okay, anybody get a different answer? That's wrong. Anybody get a different answer? Ooh, gotcha. No? Okay. Let's see what happens.
I got negative 9.1.
Okay, still wrong. Anybody else? Anybody want to try?
Would it be negative 9.99?
Nope.
It would be negative 8.
No. I like that because you're thinking about the negative flipping it around. All right, let's see what happens. Okay, so the second 9 is in the hundredths position. Remember, it goes tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So 9. Is the 6 big enough to kick this 9 up? Yes. Well, what's the only place the 9 can go up to? 10. Carry a 1. Okay, but you carried a 1, so 9 and 1 is 10. Carry a 1. The one we're carrying is still negative. The whole number is negative, so don't worry about this negative thing. So this becomes negative 10 point. Question, what about these extra, the 6 and 7? Do we use them or not? After we rounded with the 6 and the 7, do we use those?
Yes.
No.
No.
Because same way when we rounded with the 7, we just ignored it. After the 7 helped us, we just dropped it. Okay, after the 6 helps it, we drop everything down there. Okay. The question was, is this the answer, negative 10.00, or is this the answer, negative 10?
10.00.
Yeah,
10.00.
because 00, because rounding implies accuracy. And this implies you were accurate to the 100th of an inch or the 100th of a millimeter or the whatever, 100th of whatever, of a gram. I don't care. Okay. So the decimals with 2 zeros there say I measured and was accurate to the 100th of a unit, whatever my units were. This says, nah, I wasn't very accurate. Okay. What were they doing in the Olympics? People were winning gold medals by thousandths of a point. Thousandths of a point. Oh my God. All that hard work. Everybody's hard work and thousandth of a point. That's just insane. So anyway, this is the only correct answer. Negative 10.00. Negative 10.00 because in decimals, remember I told you, decimals are weird, they imply accuracy. If you're rounding in decimals and it says hundredths, then you better have something in the hundredths position. If it says thousands and you're rounding in thousands, then you better have somebody in the thousandths position. All right, enough of that. Okay. One more topic for the night, and then we're going to quit early tonight. Anybody watch the men's gymnastics? I know everybody is all, watching some of the battles in the women's. But did you see that one Russian guy? I think he won the all around, whatever. 3 months ago, he had ruptured his Achilles.
Oh, that's the long jump. That was the long jump.
No, there was also a guy on the Russian men's gymnastics also. Okay, but consider this. That's the most excruciating pain I can remember in my entire life. Well, I remember one more, but that was horrible. Horrible for me. I mean, it was so bad. I'm sitting here, I wanted to puke when I first did it. It was that bad. And I'm just now beginning to walk with not too much pain. And this guy in 3 months, okay, was back to doing floor exercises. And, those guys are pounding, they're around off back handspring, double twist and a flip and landing on their ankles. Every time I watch that guy, I just cringe. I just go, oh, Jesus. Besides steroids, they must have one heck of a medical program there. Because I could feel in my own ankle, in my own tendon, every time that guy ran. Jesus, killed me. All right, enough. Now, this is going to be weird, and this is going to cause discussion for probably the rest of the semester. Inequalities. Less than, greater than, less than or equal, greater than or equal. Inequalities. Okay. So, in the old traditional way, in old school, we would say X is less than 3. Old traditional way, X is less than 3. In the new way, it's called interval. I'll get out of the way in a minute. Interval notation. Okay. In the new way, we would write parentheses, negative infinity, comma, 3 parentheses. Now just hang with me for a moment. Okay. What this means is, okay, on the number line, here's 0, 1, 2, 3. If you wanted to graph x is less than 3 on the number line, you would probably put an open circle on 3, that's how you were taught, and probably then shade. All down, you shade, 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 and then put a big fat arrow. So in the old way, okay, when we said x is less than 3, we would graph that by putting an open circle on 3. The open circle, remember, means we're going to come close to 3. 3 is our key number, but we're never going to touch it. We're not going to equal 3. Okay? In the new way, it simply describes what is shaded on the number line. So on the number line, everything from negative infinity up to 3 is shaded. That's what interval notation describes. What is shaded on the number line? Okay, now here's the catch. Okay, you can never reach infinity down here, negative infinity or positive. You can't reach it. So we always use parentheses in interval notation to describe a number that we can't quite get to. You can't get to negative infinity. We can't get to 3 because we need to be less than 3. We're going to get real close to it, but we're never going to touch 3. So we put parentheses on here to say, hey, you can't get to infinity, negative infinity, and you're going to come close to 3, but you're never going to touch 3. So the parentheses are kind of like our open circle here, saying we're going to come close, but never touch it. Let me do one more, and then let me open it up to some examples or some questions. Suppose you had x is greater than or equal to, I don't know, 11, something like that. Okay, this is called the old traditional way. Right, I'm going to give it a better name in a minute, but if you graphed that, here's 0, here's 11, okay? I don't care about the 1, 2, 3, none of that matters, okay? It can be greater than or equal to it. So because of that, we put a solid dot. Because of the equal sign that says, hey, we can equal 11. We can hit 11. We can land on 11. And we're going to be bigger than that, greater than. So we're going to shade out here. X is greater than or equal to 11. Okay, it's equal to 11, solid dot. Greater than, shaded here. Now, in the new notation, we need to describe what's been shaded. So this is what we write. We say bracket 11, comma, infinity, parentheses. Hang on, don't panic yet. In a minute, you can panic. Not now. Okay? So, what does the bracket mean? The bracket means we equaled the 11. The bracket in the new notation is the same thing as a solid dot, is the same thing as the equal. Okay? How come the infinity has a parenthesis next to it? Because you can never, ever reach infinity. And you always use the parenthesis next to the number that you can't quite touch. You can't get to it exactly. Okay, now there's a lot more to this, but anybody have any questions or you want clarification or something? This is probably reasonably new for most students. Okay, then. Or maybe you're just so blown away you have no idea how to ask the question. All right, look at this one. In the old traditional way, we would say 3 is less than or equal to X, which is less than, I don't know, 16. Okay. Literally, that means X is in between 3 and 16. Now, some of you probably forgot that notation. We'll get back into it. We're going to have some problems that cause us to do that. Mom is going to ask you some problems like this. Okay, so literally X is in between 3 and 16. That's what it says. But it can equal 3. So this would be a solid dot on the 3. Equals 3. Can't equal the 16. Open circle on the 16. And X is everything in between. Shading in between. So, old traditional way, 3 is less than or equal to X, which is less than 16, yeah. This would be its graph. Okay, take a second to think about what would this notation or this graph be in the new interval notation method. How would we describe this or this using interval notation? You don't have to shout it out. I just want you to think about it for a second. Okay, so again, it would be 3, 16, bracket on the 3, parentheses on the 16. The bracket says it was a solid dot, which says it was an equals on the 3. Okay. The 16 has a parenthesis, which says it was an open circle on the 16, which says it was less than 16. Not quite, will never quite touch 16. We'll come close to it, but never touch it. Okay. How's that for everybody? Questions on that at all?
Can you explain that again, please?
Pardon me? I'm
Can you
sorry.
can you explain that again, please? Can you go again?
Which part don't you like?
The last
This one
example.
here? Okay. All right. I'll do a new one also, but probably you didn't understand how I went from here to here. Okay. Most math students don't remember that very well at all. So I'm going to say going from this step to this step, trust me. Okay, that's right. This is the old notation. This is its graph on a number line. But the new stuff is, can you go from the number line to here? So think about this. What's shaded? Everything between 3 and 16. Everything between 3 and 16 is shaded. That's what this says. Think about this. This says what's shaded? Everything from negative infinity up to 3. That says what's shaded? Negative infinity up to 3. Okay? What's shaded? From 11 to positive infinity. So when you use this integral notation, you're really describing what's been shaded. What's shaded? Okay? So from 3 to 16 is shaded. Now, the trick is then, after that, do I use a bracket or a parenthesis? You use a bracket if it equaled 3, if it was a solid dot. A bracket if it equaled the 3, a parenthesis if it doesn't equal an open circle. Okay, so with that explanation, I see this, you can. -2 is less than X, which is less than or equal to 14. I'll just leave it as 14. -2 is less than X, which is less than or equal to 14. Right now, I'm asking you to simply trust me. This is -2. This is 14. This is open circle on the -2, closed circle on the 14, and X is everything here in between. It's a closed circle because it's an equal to. It's an open circle on the -2 because it wasn't equal to. Now, I'll give you a second, okay, a quick second, okay, to now take this picture, okay, and try and put it into integral notation like this. Okay, anybody want to take a shot at it?
Parentheses -2, comma, 14, bracket.
Okay, anybody get a different answer? Good, because that's the correct answer.
Okay.
You feeling a little bit more comfortable in this new notation? The problem with learning math now in the 21st century is you're carrying hundreds of years of math notation, okay? And the math world and the science world can't come up with one clean way of expressing something, okay? So instead, they dump on the students and they say, oh, shit, let them learn everything. Instead of remembering how hard it is to learn math and all the stupid little intricacies and special rules and all that kind of crap, they gotta ask for them, let them learn everything. So now you guys are stuck with, you have to know the old traditional way and you have to know the new interval way. Okay, because sometimes when you're reading the book or on Mom, sometimes they'll say, do it this, give your answer this way. Sometimes they'll say, give your answer this way, and you have to read the directions. Okay, and give the answer exactly as they ask. Okay, even though maybe you got it right and you put this answer down, if Mom says, give it to me in interval notation, she's expecting this. So you must read the directions and answer what the directions say. Now I'm going to do more of these tomorrow. We're going to do some more stuff. I've got one more quickie thing I want to talk about, and then I'm done for the night. Okay, we'll get out of here early tonight. Because of course I've been battling. I can go forever. Okay. Probably no one will ever know when I die. I'll just keep talking. Okay. Most of you have heard of PEMDAS before. PEMDAS is order of operations for arithmetic. Okay, the P, most people think it stands for parentheses. Actually, it means simplify inside of a grouping symbol. A grouping symbol could be a parentheses, or it could be brackets. Sometimes we use brackets, or it could be all kinds of things. But it means simplify inside the grouping symbol. The E says do any exponents. Okay. M stands for do the multiplication. D is division. A is addition. S is subtraction. And I apologize for the bad handwriting, getting sloppy down there. Okay. Now, the problem with PIMDOS is it has, I don't want to call it an unwritten rule because it's very written, but people don't seem to remember that. Think of this as power, the most powerful. The most powerful thing we have is parentheses. Those are really strong. Okay. The next most powerful thing is exponents. That's why you have to do them next. But here's the fallacy. When you write PIMDOS to students, it says, oh, multiplication is more powerful than division. And it says addition is more powerful than subtraction. That's wrong. Multiplication and division are of equal power. They're not more powerful than the other. And addition and subtraction are of equal power. Now, multiplication and division are more powerful than add or subtract. But together, multiplication is equal to division in terms of power. Okay? Same thing with addition and subtraction. They're of equal importance to each other. So we have a rule that we say. We say when you come across a problem that has a bunch of multiplication and division all in a row, then you have to work from left to right. Same rule with addition and subtraction. If you have a bunch of addition and subtraction all in a row, you have to work from left to right. Okay, I'm going to give you an example of this in just a moment. Now, the problem with these rules is there are always shortcuts. Okay, everybody's got a shortcut for everything. And I'm not going to stop you from taking those shortcuts. Okay, I'm not going to stop you. But the key is you have to get the same answer I get. And you have to get the same answer I get. So, example, -1 plus 7 minus 6 minus 9 plus 2. -1 plus 7 minus 6 minus 9 plus 2. Okay, I'm going to pause right now just a second. I'm not going to turn off my video yet. Let you guys work on that. This is an addition subtraction. So theoretically, you work from left to right. We get an answer?
-7.
Well, -7? Anybody get a different answer? All right, that's what I got. Technically, you're supposed to do these two. -1 plus 7 is actually 6. Then you go, you're working from left to right. So you go 6 minus 6 is 0. 0 minus 9 is -9. -9 plus 2 is -7. Again, are there shortcuts? Of course there are. Of course there are shortcuts. Okay, but this is the way that everybody will get the same answer. Take a shortcut, I don't care, but get the same answer I get. Get the same answer mom gets. Okay. See if I can do this. 18 divided by 3 times parentheses 2 plus 1. Take a second, work that one out. Okay, anybody get an answer?
18.
18? Anybody get a different answer?
6.
Anybody get 2?
Isn't it 2?
2? Anybody get a different answer?
I got 6.
6? I love this. Anybody get a different answer? Okay, this is like one of those questions that every once in a while shows up on the internet. You know, it's one of those clickbait things, and it says, nobody gets this right, even math teachers. I'm just going, well, if you don't get it right, you shouldn't be a math teacher. And then I looked at somebody doing this, and they go, I've been a math teacher for 20 years, and this is the right way to do it. And I'm watching them going, you're an idiot. Because the guy was wrong, 100% wrong. 100% wrong. Okay, but he said it on YouTube, so it must be right. Yes, everybody should go take that horse dewormer because it cures COVID. Have you guys seen that one going around? It's some really ugly horse deworming medicine that people are not taking, you know, to cure the COVID. Just get the damn vaccine. It's easier. But no, they're going to take, you know, deworming medicine, and that's going to cure them. They're all idiots. Everyone. Here we go. So how do you do it? Well, first thing we do is we do inside parentheses. 2 plus 1 is 3. Fine. Now, here's the question. What do I do next? Okay, let's pay attention to this. This is 18 divided by 3. Remember in algebra, when you shove two numbers right next to each other, they're implied to be multiplication. That's one of the tricks of algebra. Okay, two things shoved right next to each other, like when we say 3x, okay, it means 3 multiplied with x. When we say, you know, 5ab, that means 5 multiplied with a multiplied with b. So one of the hidden rules of algebra is anything right next to each other implies multiplication. So instead of saying 3 parentheses 3, I'm going to write this as 3 times 3 because it means the same thing. Now, here's the question. I see division, I see multiplication. Okay, according to what we've been talking about, division and multiplication are of the same power importance. They're the same level of importance. So you have to move from left to right. So to follow that left to right, 18 divided by 3 is 6 times, whoops, this other 3. 6 times 3 is 18. That's the only correct answer for this problem. Because you have to follow the left to right rule of PIMDOS. Now, I can go on forever and ever and ever. I don't want to. I actually want to quit. I want to get a popsicle, which we happen to have in the refrigerator. Yay! So, here's what I want you to do tonight. Keep working on long, all that kind of stuff. That goes without saying. But in order to take roll tonight, okay, I want you to email me. Okay, my email is lafoster@sdccd.edu. LA, Larry Foster. There was another person working there. Her name was LaWanda. And she got the L Foster before I did. Okay, so lafoster@sdccd.edu. Okay, in the subject line of your email, I want you to do 2 things. Your real name, because some of you have a bizarre email that has nothing to do with your name. Okay, so I need to know who you are. You know, you don't have to put your full name, just your real name, so I can figure it out who you are. And the code word red moon. That's tonight. Anybody see the moon last night? I don't know what it is tonight. Did anybody see the moon last night? It was bright red. It was insane. Why they call it blue moon, I don't know. So that's it. I'm done for the night, guys. Email me, send me an email. Okay. In the subject, your real name and the code word red moon. If you want to write me a message, you can, but that's all you have to do. Make it quick, make it easy. That's it. Good night, and see you all tomorrow night. Bye-bye. Where is my F5? Okay,
Thank you.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
There we go.